Hi there, I'm Becca Pruitt, and I'm an actor who was just fired from a co-star role on a major Hollywood production this month. Why? Because I had what doctors call a severe adverse reaction to the COVID-19 vaccine. It is not the first time I've lost work, along with countless other people who can't get the vax for medical or religious reasons. Here's my story. About 12 hours after getting the vaccination, it was 4 o'clock in the morning, and I felt a little nauseous. So I went to the restroom where I collapsed on the floor. Initially unable to move. I didn't have the strength. It wasn't even just weakness. It was the most extreme weakness I could ever imagine. I literally couldn't lift my limbs or even my torso up initially. It was terrifying to go from completely healthy to collapsed on the floor, unable to move. And then the other major event happened with me feeling stabbing pains in my stomach. Way worse than cramps per se. It felt like someone was literally jabbing me over and over. And I started basically convulsing in the floor with the pain of the severe abdominal cramping. And eventually I started having like sweats, and then I'd be freezing cold and clammy. And then I'd be sweating, freezing cold and clammy as I'm laying in the floor during this whole process. Eventually I get up enough strength to lift my torso up to lay my face on the commode, where I proceeded to vomit and then have the other direction happening as well. And I'm thinking to myself, am I gonna die? Like, I need to go to the ER, but I didn't have the ability to get to a phone initially to do anything like that. I was terrified. And it didn't actually stop when that episode ended. I had radiating pain through my extremities for the next month or so. Arms, legs, just pain that just kept going and going. And I never had a regular menstrual cycle since. And so it's medically dangerous, obviously, for me to get a booster. But because of the return to work agreement, I'm not allowed to work. It's what I've trained for my whole life. And I'm not allowed to work. And there are so many people like me. I'm not trying to start a anti-vax, pro-vax debate on this. I'm not trying to divide people any further than we're already divided in this planet. What I am trying to do is just raise awareness and request, just from my heart, can we please stop the mandates? We're not in the same place as we were when COVID first was sweeping the planet. The morbidity rate is so much lower than it used to be, and it's not as severe. And we also get tested. You can't actually go on set without multiple tests to make sure you don't have COVID. Because of those tests and because of the change in COVID as it is now, I'm not really sure why we still are enacting this. Well, it's discrimination. It's a big word, right? But it is. If you're telling people they can't work because they physically can't take a vaccination or it's against their religion, then what else is it, called? What else can we say this is? For me, it's medical or maybe disability discrimination. I just want to work. I'm very safe. I make sure to be very safe, and I offered I'm like, you can test me as much as you want. I'll quarantine at home. But once they found out I had no booster, even though I have a medical exemption from a UCLA doctor, which I presented, of course, along with my COVID vaccine card, I'm just asking for the discrimination to end. We have voices. So if you're someone out there who also can't get the vax or is afraid to get the vax, then speak up and write the people like I have requesting this to end. It doesn't have to be this way. And for an industry that says they're inclusive, let's put those actions into words and start including the people who want to be a part of it, who've always been a part of it, who you're discriminating against now. Thank you for listening. Again, not a pro-vax, anti-vax debate. If you feel safer having the vax, then go get the vax. And if you feel safer not, like me who can't, then you should be allowed to work without doing something that jeopardizes your life. Thanks so much for listening. God bless y'all. I, of course, forgot to say something. As we know now, you can give and get COVID regardless of vaccination status. It's not like an immunization like polio, measles, mumps, rubella, where you get the shot and you don't ever get the disease. It just prevents your symptoms from getting really bad. It makes them less. Because it doesn't prevent the spread, then let's please just keep COVID testing, since the vaccine doesn't stop the spread of COVID. Thanks so much, and please don't troll me or the shot.